So let's talk about the bag, y'all. How to secure the bag. It's funny. I was on Instagram last night, and my alma mater, I went to Dillon University in New Orleans. Shout out to anyone else who went to a historically Black college. They actually had a workshop called How to Secure the Bag. And I was like, you know what? When I was in college, they didn't even talk about money in this cool way. So that's what we're going to talk about today. How to make $30,000 in the next 90 days without burning out. That's what I want for you. For your speaking and consulting business. I want you to be able to do it in ways that I have not necessarily been able to do it. And I'll share a little bit with you today about my own journey, but also around what are some of the strategies that we're using within Speaking for Profit to make sure that this is possible. So why should you listen to me? Well, number one, you've been listening to me all week. So shouts out to y'all for still staying here. But I'm the founder and creator of the LinkedIn Lead Generation app, which is an app I'm going to showcase to you all today and show you a little bit how that works. I'm also the head coach at Speaking for Profit University. Shouts out to Yahoo Finance. They listed me in 2020 as the top public speaking coach in the world, which is really cool. And I've helped my clients to date make over $2 million in the last 2 years from speaking and consulting. I think that has actually went up. If we calculate last year, it probably will be more or like 3 to 3.5 million. But the majority of the folks that I work with are diverse folks, LGBT folks, people of color. So for me, when I started this amazing company, my idea was about influxing the speaking and consulting industry with as many diverse stories and expertise as possible. Because what I seen was that there was a gap. The majority of us weren't charging enough, or we weren't even charging at all, and weren't aware that this was a field. So it's been an honor to be able to support my clients on this journey. So the strategy that I'm going to teach you all about today, it helped my client, Christine Coleman. A shout out to her. She is actually a therapist in the Bay Area. Some of y'all might already know her. She has an amazing program called Soul Sisters, which is a nonprofit that supports women in need in the Bay Area. But she's traditionally a marriage and family therapist. But she was only charging $500 for speaking engagements, maybe getting them once a quarter, and went on to make $100,000 working with me in the first year. It also, this strategy has allowed my client, Kyle, and shouts out to Kyle. He's just such an amazing individual. If folks can see my face, you should also slide to the next one and actually see the slide. But for folks who also see my face, I'm smiling because he's one of my favorite people. But he was able to launch his speaking business and also started a viral podcast. What's really cool about Kyle's work is that he utilizes strengths practices, right? So he has a certification on Gallup Strengths and utilizes that to showcase how folks can be successful. So it's been really cool to be able to support him. My client, Zami Hemingway, some of you already know Zami, has had the ability to travel the world. One of his favorite places to go is actually Costa Rica. He actually started a traveling wellness retreat with me when we were working together and made over $200,000 during that process. My client, Christopher, which we talked about yesterday when we went to his LinkedIn profile, booked over 12 speaking engagements in 2023 from the strategy that I'll teach you today. And he's still booking gigs this year, y'all. Actually, he turned in a $30,000 proposal a couple of days ago. So y'all go on and wish him luck. I hope that he gets that. And that would be really great for his bag, but also for some of the work that he's doing within his field. He's actually traditionally an engineer, which has been really cool. And he gives back to a lot of young Black men who are interested in getting into engineering. Shouts out to also my client, Geronda, who utilized this strategy and has contracted $15,000 in January of 2024. So I wanted to share all these results with y'all because I want y'all to know that I know what it takes for y'all to win. And I promise that I'm going to help you win today through some of these strategies, right? We've worked together this whole week, but today is the way we're going to wrap the bow so that you can know how to move forward. So by the end of this particular training, you're going to have access to unlimited qualified speaking and consulting clients showing up in your inbox every day. You'll have a proven strategy that is simple and easy that you and your team can use to get new clients and consistent business, right? On a consistent basis. Now, I say you and your team because I know that some of you have spouses or partners, or you already have virtual assistants, but maybe it's just you. And that's why automation is so important when it comes to our speaking, consulting, and coaching businesses. So let's talk about how did I get to this strategy? This is my amazing wife. I've talked about her a couple of times during this presentation, Kiera Lee Benton, and we actually met in Los Angeles when I was working at UCLA. Go Bruins, but I'm really fight on, y'all. I grew up near USC. This is just a little bit of higher education jargon. So we met in Los Angeles, and she got a job in the Bay Area. And I don't do long distance, y'all. LA to the Bay is not super long, but it's long enough where I can't be by you every day. So she was like, hey, you should come move to the Bay. I said, I'll apply for some jobs. If I get a job, I'll come through. I applied. I actually got 3 offers, which is wild to me. Like, I didn't even think anyone would want to hire me in the Bay Area. That's literally why I said it to her, because I was a Los Angeles kid. I was like, no one's going to want to hire me. But they did, and we got together in the Bay. We lived there. And when I got there, it was a very challenging opportunity. And that's my story about the breakfast sandwich, which some of you have already heard, but I'll share it again. I got to the Bay, I got my first paycheck, and I could not do anything besides buy us a bacon sandwich and a breakfast sandwich and split it in half. I couldn't even afford one because it was so expensive. So I started to look into side gigs. I looked at Uber, DoorDash. I even thought about teaching young people, maybe at night and picking up a adjunct professor job. And that's when someone hit me up and said, hey, Bob, we would love for you to come and speak at our organization. I tried to charge her $500. I don't know why that's the rate that everyone thinks you should charge. And that amazing person said, Evolve, charge me more. I said $3,000. That's the amount that I was being paid that month. And she gave it to me. And I said, oh, let's see what the speaking thing is about, right? So that was me in 2015. So in 2016 to 19, which is this slide that you see right now, I sent emails to everyone in my personal network. I actually did a workshop with one of my homies. Their name is Jay Mace. You could look them up. They're an amazing speaker, poet, and activist in the world. And that workshop was called Can You Pay Your Rent, though? And I love the title of it, right? Like, if you're going to be a speaker, if you're going to be an artist, can you pay your rent? And I realized that I wasn't really doing the work. I was relying on referrals. So what they suggested was get a list of leads or reach out to people you know and send out emails. And that's how you're going to find your paid opportunity. From 2016 to 2019, I was sending it out to my personal network. Remember, I was working in higher education. I also purchased a cold email list from Fiverr. Anybody know what Fiverr is? Going to put the word yes in the chat if you know what I'm talking about. Fiverr is like a service that you can use to hire independent contractors. So through Fiverr, I emailed 100 people a month and I made about $15,000 that year, which, to be honest with y'all, for a side gig, that's not bad, right? I was quite impressed. But it wasn't an easy process, right? I had to do a lot of follow-up. I had to send a lot of emails, and I probably spent more time working than actually really speaking and making money. So 2020 came. 2020 was a very interesting year. And I got a message on LinkedIn that changed my life. You all probably get these messages all the time now because there's more automation and more systems. So this woman sends me this message and she said, I see you're a speaker. I want to help you get more opportunities. And when I read the message, I was excited about that. Like, oh, this woman wants to help me. But I also knew that there was something else happening. There had to be. Like, how does she find me? How does she even know that I was a speaker? What kind of automation was she using? And that's usually how I go into processes, y'all. I'm always in my head of like, how is this person actually reaching out to me? What is the back end part of this process? So I hired her and her team. Her name was Miki. And they had me sign up for LinkedIn Sales Navigator. That's LinkedIn Premium. And what they did for me was they created a targeted list of people for me to reach out to. They would reach out to them for me, 50 new people a week. I believe that's what it was. And they created some type of spreadsheet for me. This is actually the actual spreadsheet that they created. And what I was supposed to do was to go through and answer the messages. And then what would happen is the person would say, I'm not interested. I would mark them red. If the person and I were in conversation and maybe it was more neutral, it would be yellow, right? And then if it was green, that means that it was solid and it was ready to go. Now, I want you to notice this spreadsheet, y'all. It's not complete. Shouts out to OD Bob. It's not complete, right? Because it was a lot of work. It was like still a lot of labor for me to go back and forth in this spreadsheet, even though I had someone automating this process for me. So I figured out a simple process through learning through Minky, right? Even though that was a little bit stressful and I didn't complete it, I still got some paid speaking gigs. So what Minky taught me was if I update my LinkedIn profile, mind you all, at this point, I had just got a website. So I was already making money from my speaking business without one, but I got a website because I got my book and I wanted to be able to sell it. And, you need a merchant to be able to do that. But Minky taught me, update your LinkedIn profile, create a targeted list, reach out to the list with nurturing messages, and then you'll be able to book calls and book contracts. So I understood and learned that process from her. And even though the strategies she's were using were great, it still was a little bit stressful, right? So also what happened in 2020 is COVID happened, right? COVID was a really, really rough time for a lot of speakers and consultants, but it was a time of growth for me. Everyone was looking for virtual speakers, and I had the time and the technology to make it happen. I also had Miki and her team working on the back end to support me. So I grew my following on LinkedIn from 500 to 15,000, which was really cool within that time, right? A time when everything was slowed down was actually a time for me when things picked up. So my business tripled in 2020, and I spoke 2 to 3 times a month, mostly virtually. And I made about $65,000 in 2020, which was really cool compared, right, to the $15,000 I was making a year, probably from that 2016 to 2019. Y'all can put money in the chat if that's big money for y'all, because that was big money for me, definitely at the time. And I was really, really thankful for it. This is a photo of me actually speaking in San Francisco a little bit after the pandemic had slowed down. So my system started to work, but I had to spend $15,000 on a team leading my campaign. So Minky was not a cheap person, right? Like, she was actually amazing. I appreciate Minky. I have to reach out to her to see how she's doing now. And then I was spending 5 to 10 hours a week managing a spreadsheet and sending up follow-up messages. So it was making money, but to be honest with y'all, I was throwing money and time out the window. I wasn't able to keep up with the lead flow. It was too much coming in. My LinkedIn Messenger was all full and overwhelming, and leads were getting old, and I couldn't get to them in time. In fact, I remember missing out on a $30,000 opportunity because I did not answer the messages in time. So I'm telling you this because you've learned a lot of strategies this week. Right now, you can reach out to 50, 60 people, right, in your own network. But you have to also have a system that's set up so that you can actually have a client success route. You don't want to reach out to people and then they see you as flaky. Remember, we've talked about that this week. This is a relationship and reputation business. If you mess up your relationship and your reputation, it's really hard to build that back. So I made more money, but I felt burnt out. And remember, today's topic is like, how do we do that without burning out? I was burnt, y'all, by the end of that year. And mentioned I paid $15 to Minky. I still had to pay the IRS. I remember that year because I forgot about that. And I was like, oh, snap. And then taxes came around. So it didn't really feel like a lot of money. So that's when my team and I created the Lead Gen app. And I want to tell you a little bit about how that works. It's similar to a CRM. If anyone knows what a CRM is, it's a customer relationship management system. Except for this one is connected to LinkedIn. So it makes it easier for you to have that conversation. In 2021, I made over $200,000 from this strategy, and I spent less than 10 minutes a day reaching out to leads. That's usually my goal. I don't want to spend more than 10 minutes a day. And I was actually talking to my clients about this yesterday. What I normally try to do is if I can't do it every day, then I'm going to do it every other day, and I'm going to spend 30 minutes. But when we don't follow up, you'll end up like me. You'll end up missing out on money, right? So it's important that we keep up with the system. So how do we leverage LinkedIn to get results? First step is we want to make sure that our LinkedIn profile is amplified. We did some of that this week. Some of you are going to get LinkedIn audits from me, and that's going to be a great opportunity for you to be more successful. But the main thing, it doesn't have to be perfect. Remember, imperfect action, but it does need to be set up and complete. So everything we talked about this week, make sure that's all together. The funnel is that you are essentially building your network through reaching out and adding people to your profile. From that, you're going to start conversations to build relationships. And then in those conversations, you're unearthing pain points and offering value. That's all we're doing. Hey, Sammy, I see that your institution doesn't have anything on the website for National Coming Out Day. Are you all doing anything? Leading with curiosity and also leading with getting to know Sammy a little bit more. And then we nurture and we close deals. It's really simple as that. People make it difficult because what they want to do is they want to skip steps. They don't want to build their network. That's why we reach out to 500 people for our clients a month, because out of those 500 people, I want you to think about it like a funnel. 500 are going to be a part of your network. They're probably going to accept you because you look like a human and you look nice. But out of that 500, maybe 250 actually start a conversation. Out of that 250, maybe 150 are willing to really get in a conversation with you. And let's say out of that 150, 50 are willing to be prospects. And out of that, 25 are willing to be clients. But what's great about it is you're consistently building and attracting your audience, so more people will know about you. So what I want you all to get to a point is when you don't even have to do this for your business, people are reaching out to you because you've built such a strong network. And that's what eventually happens when you build credibility and celebrity on platforms like LinkedIn, and people are able to see your success in your frameworks. So we have a 4-step launch process for the campaign. This is an app, y'all. So you log into our LinkedIn Legion system. I log into it every other day at this point. Every day doesn't work for me as much. And what I'm looking at is my qualified list that I've built of ideal prospects. We utilize still LinkedIn Sales Navigator. So what I can do is say, okay, let me reach out and see where are program managers in higher education that work at multicultural centers in New York City. I literally can narrow it down based on that. Instead of just reaching out to people and kind of guessing, I can get all of the demographics. We send out clear and community-driven and compliment-driven messages to make sure that we're able to get replies. Sending hundreds of messages to prospects a month makes sure that you're able to get enough of a lead flow. And then what's really great about the system, so that you don't miss out, you're notified via email when you get a response, which I love. But sometimes I forget. I'll set up a campaign and I'll be like, just chilling. And then I get like 4 or 5 emails that I need to reply, right? Which is really helpful for me. So step 1, when we're working with clients, when we're utilizing this, help you build out your leads list of decision makers on LinkedIn Sales Navigator. LinkedIn Sales Navigator, I know some of you have decided you don't want to pay for premium yet, but what I want you to know is that eventually you're going to have to pay to play. It's just a part of being in business, especially if you want to grow. And I want you to know that other speakers and consultants are doing this. They're either doing this via LinkedIn or they're doing it via email. I like LinkedIn personally because it connects me directly to the decision maker. I've done cold email, and what the challenge of it is, if I send an email to Jovan at their workplace or send it to Michaela, if I'm not in that network, it goes to spam. And the reason I know this is because I used to work in higher education. And all of my homies would be like, I emailed you to come to speak at the LGBT Center. I'm like, I didn't get it. I have to go on my spam account and pull it out. So this works more effective because I'm going directly to the person. But we're able to break it down based off of lead filters, which is what you see on this page. So you can base it on the seniority level, the function, the demographic of where they live, how long have they been at the company. If you want to reach out to more self-employed or more entrepreneurs, you can do that as well. If you want to reach out to Fortune 500 companies. So it really gives you your niche down effort so that you're able to reach out exactly to the people you want to get in conversation with. Now, write this down. Make sure you have your notes. When I'm looking for people to reach out to, I want you to think about 2 things. 1, if you've been paid to speak before, what was the title of the person who brought you in before? That's the title that you should be searching. What was the title of that person? Were they a director, assistant director, a program manager, an event manager, HR? That's what we want to double down on because we've already had success. If you haven't said had success yet, I want you to know that those are the titles of some people who can bring you in. It's going to be program manager, assistant director, event coordinator, event manager, project managers. All of those titles are going to be the folks that you want to look up and look into. And they will have people in those roles in various different industries. What I see that a lot of people try to do when it comes to particularly LinkedIn Sales Navigator, when they're not successful, is reach out to titles that don't have the bandwidth to talk to you. So you're reaching out to the VPs and the directors. They got time for that. Trust me, I know, because I used to work for one. And they'd be like, you handle all the programming. And I was the assistant director, right? So they don't have time necessarily to get in conversation with you in the same way. So when we're thinking about a decision maker, we're not thinking about the person who pays. We're thinking about the person who coordinates the event, an event coordinator, an operations coordinator. Those are the folks we're thinking about. And that's who's going to be able to get you in the room where it happens. They might not be the one making the final decision, which is why we want to always make sure we send amazing proposals and all of that. But they are the one who's going to coordinate it. And they're going to be your right-hand person when it comes to the event. So don't reach out to VPs, directors. They're probably not going to answer you on LinkedIn, to be honest with you. Now, if you're at a networking event, great, because you can actually talk to them, but it's not the best strategy on LinkedIn. So that's step one. Step two, right? We utilize our money-making script to make sure that we're able to get into conversations with folks. I talked to you all yesterday about part one of the money-making script. Remember, we send out a message and we lead with a compliment and curiosity. Once the person responds to that message, it's our job to find ways that we can work with them. Now, find ways means that there's actually ability for collaboration. Sometimes there's not. I'm going to be honest with you. Every message that comes in is not going to be someone that you want to respond to in a way to work with them, but you can still be a connection on LinkedIn. So what does that look like? What am I looking for when a person sends their response? I'm thinking to myself, one, can I actually support them? So if I say, hey, Jovan, I see that your company's doing some amazing work around diversity, equity, and inclusion. I'm curious, do you all have anything going on for Pride Month? And you might say, yeah, we actually have a whole month of things planned. Normally, people will be like, oh, they already got something planned. Let me move on. We want to dig a little bit deeper because remember, we're building a relationship and a reputation. So I would say, oh, that's really exciting. Do you all already have all of your speakers for that event? Honestly, y'all, people will plan a whole event. And I know this. I worked in a university and they don't even have all the speakers. How many of y'all have worked at them organizations? You know, we want to do a panel. We want to show a film. We got a list of things that we actually want to do, but we don't have all the people to fulfill it. That's why it's important that you still lean in and you don't take it as rejection. Until someone says no, they're not rejecting you. So I'm looking for a gap. I'm looking for ways that we can intersect, or I'm looking for challenges that they're having. I remember I was in a conversation with someone when I was using this particular script and the lead gen system. And they said, you know what, Evolve, we got some really cool things happening. We're doing a coming out chat, right? So it was an anonymous chat that they had set up at their LGBT center where people could come out or talk about their experience as an LGBT person. And I was like, that's really cool. And they were like, yeah, we spent like at least $30,000 on this app. So, you know, I'm thinking that means y'all got money for this. This is good. This is good. I want to talk about it more. And then I said, well, how is it going? The person said, no one's using the app. They're not using it. We paid all this money and we cannot get students engaged. So we got in a conversation about, can I come in and support you all with student engagement? Imagine if I just said, oh, okay, they got an app, they're cool, they're taken care of, and not dived in for more. So we don't want to stop communicating with people just because we have things in our mind around scarcity and around lack that says, oh, there's not opportunity. We always want to dig for more. And there might become a moment where it's like, you know what, actually, Jovan, Ravi, we actually already have a speaker. Great. When do you all plan usually your speakers? Because I would love to support you next year. And then you can put them on your calendar. And next year in February, you reach out to them and say, hey, I know you all have this annual event. Can we get in a conversation and talk about that? So we don't want to ever just walk away. We want to keep it consistent. And that's why the money making script is important. It's not a script. It's more of a framework. And I'm sharing a little bit of with you all today. Send the message, get in conversation with the decision maker, and then find ways that you can collaborate. Sometimes it's not even going to be speaking, y'all. That's how I've been on so many podcasts. People have been like, you know what? I don't have that going on, Eva, but I seen a couple of videos of you on your LinkedIn. Can you come on my podcast? Cool. That's another way for me to continue to grow my business. So within the lead gen app, right, we're using the money making script, but what we're also doing is it's sending us automated outreach, right? So I set it up. I put 3 to 4 messages in there. And then every 6 to 7 days, it'll send a follow-up message until that potential lead responds to me. So I love it because I don't have to keep sending messages. I can just have the system going, and all it's going to tell me is when someone responds, and then I'm going to follow up. That's why I only have to spend 10 minutes a day on it. So all you have to do is really handle the replies when you set up this, which is a lot better, y'all, than the spreadsheets that I was using back in the day. Now, I know some of y'all are going to leave this workshop and still go to cold emailing and cold messaging, but I like to think about business like it's a sport. I'm going to be honest with you. I'm very competitive. I played basketball all my life and not with no weak sauces. I'm from South Central LA, so I play with the best of them, right? And I'm about competition. So I know if Evolve is out here sending automated messages and I'm out here still sending emails from Gmail, Evolve is probably going to win the race. And there's other speakers and consultants doing it as well. And I'm all about the quickest way to the bag. So for me, I rather spend most of my time on the stage or on the virtual stage that I've created than sending messages. So we wanted to create a system that made this process easier, because what we understand is that the majority of our clients don't have a lot of success if they're not able to put this into their business, because they're kind of like tired. Right? It'll burn you out trying to message people and get in conversation. So let's talk a little bit about the dashboard management, because I think that that's important as well, especially for some of my data geeks. So we're able to use custom templates within the app to manage sales conversations. So what I mean by that is when you start to have conversations with people, you'll start to see trends. One of the trends will be that you'll get to a point in the conversation where it's time to move them to a phone call. It'll be like a canned message that you'll have that says, hey, first name, this has been great. Why don't we get on a phone call? And here's my Calendly. Instead of you copying and pasting and putting that in every time, what you can do is set up a canned message. You just click a button and it populates into the app. I love that so much because I get tired of saying the same thing over and over again, and it makes it easier for me to move through the process. You also be able to view campaign performance, which is amazing. So you can see how your campaign's doing. This is important for me as a coach to be able to always support you all to see, okay, is it actually the people we need to reach out to? Are people really wanting to get in conversation? So we get data. I want you to run a data-driven business, not an emotionally based business. Emotionally based says, oh, I didn't make any money this month. I'm sad. Data says, you know what? We reached out to 500 people and only 25% replied. So that means that we need to change our messaging. Or maybe I need to update my LinkedIn profile to fit my messaging that I'm currently sending out, right? So we want to look at the data. They also have the ability, this is just like a CRM, right? Remember, customer relationship system. So we have the ability to track, tag, and snooze replies, which means that I can tag a bunch of people who are follow-ups, right? Like I get in conversation with people often. They're like, we already got our speakers for 2024, but get back to me in November for 2025. So what I can do is I can set up a reminder, number one, so that the system will remind me in November, right, to get back to them, because I'm going to forget. I know me. My brain is not going to be, remembering all of that. Or I can set up a tag and say, okay, this is my list for 2025. So when the top of the year comes, I just bring that list up of people to follow up with, which I love. Yeah, I'm still devastated that I missed out on that $30,000 bag. So having this system, it really regulates my own nervous system to not miss out on opportunity, because I don't want to do all this work, right? Like I'm sending out these messages, I'm building relationships, it's not about just missing the bag. To be honest with you, it's about messing up a relationship and seeming flaky. And I never want that for me, my brand, or my business. And I honestly don't want that for y'all as well. So you can edit the outreach anytime within the app. So let's say you decide, I want to change my messaging, or, you know what, I've been reaching out to higher education, but I got a really cool gig with this nonprofit. So now I want to change my messaging and my leads list to reach out to nonprofits. The other thing that I love about this is I usually have multiple campaigns going at one time. So I can have a campaign going on for Pride Month because I got that going. You know, I always want to be gay for pay in June, right? So I got that currently going. And then I have another campaign that's nurturing people around a book that I'm planning to put out, right? So I can have multiple campaigns going at one time and multiple people. Like I said, you instantly get notified when a decision maker responds to your inbox so you don't miss out on opportunities. You also receive a weekly and monthly email performance reports on your campaigns for full visibility. So you know what's happening instead of being in reaction mode. If you all have not used a CRM before, I want you all to know that this is top level because most of the time a CRM, you got to put in most of the information. What's happening is LinkedIn is feeding most of this information, and it's up to you to organize it in the best way for yourself and just follow up with the messages 10 minutes a day. So it's pretty easy. 4 steps. We talked about this. Build a qualified list of prospects on LinkedIn. Write clear, driven messages. Send out hundreds of messages. The reason we're doing hundreds is because 100 people aren't going to reply. Usually when I say hundreds, people get overwhelmed. They're like, I don't even want to talk to 100 people. Good, because that's not how many people are going to actually get in a conversation with you. But we want more. We also want more for the credibility. When people go on a LinkedIn profile and they see that right now I have 10,000 connections, that's a level of credibility that people see in that, right? And then you're going to get notified so that you can get on the call and ultimately close deals, which is really important. We always want to get on a call first. Write that down. Get on a call first. Get on a call first because you want to know what you're signing up for. One time, y'all, I didn't get on a call. I just accepted a panel via email. And I got there and I was leading the panel and I thought I was sitting on the panel. I had to run in the bathroom and write down questions. It was so embarrassing and scary. That's why I always get on the call right now. Some communication breakdown happened to me and I literally got there and they were like, we're so excited for you to lead this panel. Have you thought about what you're going to ask so-and-so? I had to read through the bios, y'all. I had to really get myself together in about 15 minutes. And I killed it. They invited me back. So I know I did, but it was scary. So now I always get on a call and I clarify, okay, am I on the panel or am I leading it? So you don't want to be like Evolve. This is why I'm telling y'all to always get on the call because I know some people are like call reluctant. It's important that you have understanding of who you're working with and what you're going to do so you can be successful. So let's talk about how I use this amazing app to make $40,000, which was really, really cool. Now, this doesn't happen to everyone, but I think it happens with the proper habits and consistency. So I met this really cool guy. His name is Tavares Blackman. He's actually an amazing artist. So if y'all want to go and add him on LinkedIn, please do. And this is the messages that I sent out, right? I said, hey, Tavares, see, we both have a shared passion for diversity and inclusion. It'd be great to connect with you and hear about your DEI initiatives, right? He said, hello, looking forward to for any voluntary resources regarding DEI. I'm president and member of a co-op gallery and DEI co-chair at a WAGE-certified nonprofit art center in SF. We're currently looking for a consultant. Thanks. Woo! Y'all looking for somebody. Y'all looking for the bag. So I said, great, Tavares. Any of these times work for you, right? This message right here, this last one, y'all, is a canned message that I already had set up for success. Great first name. Any of these times work for you? Send my Calendly over. He booked a call with me. He put his director on the call as well. And that was the first contract that we had. I believe that one was for 15? No, it was for $20,000. That was the first one. We were able to do an external review for them, actually supported him also with a couple of workshops. So it was one of those more longer term contracts. And then they read up on me, right, and did an additional 20 as well. It was amazing and easy. And he needed my support. So I show this to you because it's easeful abundance. But imagine I sent out hundreds of messages for this to happen. I also was in the right place at the right time. So when I tell you that you want to be leading your field in the competition, that's what you want to be. Because imagine, this could have been anyone who sent this message. This could have been anyone who sent the email at the right time. And they would have got the opportunity to work with this group and not me. And they were really cool, y'all. They were actually an art collective, which I'm an artist. So it was like, oh, I can help y'all with y'all DEI work. We got to do focus groups. It was really, really an amazing opportunity. You actually have to reach out to them and see if they want to do some work in 2025. I know this year funding was cut for them, so we didn't get to really work together, but I was okay with that because they have a whole 5-year plan that I supported them with that they need to start implementing. And one of the part of that plan is them finding hard money, not just soft money. What is money where they can do the work consistently? So really cool opportunity. And it turned to $40,000, y'all. I was like, this is the system. This is when it clicked for me that anything is possible when it comes to leading with curiosity, leading with compliment, and being ready. Because imagine also if I didn't follow up with Tavares. Imagine that, right? Look at here. 12, 14, 21. I was in there by 12, 16. Imagine if I had waited. This was around the holidays, y'all. This is when people tap out, right? Imagine if I had waited. So the LinkedIn lead generation app system is $19.97 a month. This is usually when I lose people. Don't log off of the Zoom. I got more for you. You know, I've been holding your hand and taking care of you this whole week. So I got your back, right? Remember, it's fail proof. It includes an expert campaign manager, which is myself, to be able to support you. I've been able to do this. Highest quality leads based off of your own targeted list. We already know your industry and the work you want to do because you did that this week. And then a cold email list can cost you anywhere between $100 to $300. And that doesn't even include the client relationship system that this has. So it's more beneficial. Remember, we talked about this. Christine Coleman, amazing client, therapist, went from $0 to $10,000 speaking contracts because of this, right? She was literally making about $500. Zami booked $200,000 of consulting contracts using this exact system. One of my favorite stories about Zami is him reaching out to someone and getting in conversation and actually booking a long-term contract that he's still doing to this day. I think he's probably made over $500,000 from that long-term contract. So my question for you all, right? Like I've told you about the system and what it does. Would you like it for free? We talked about the cost, but we're in the act of giving. Would y'all like it for free? Put the word free in the comments if that's something that you want access to. If this would make your process and your business easier. All right, I see some free coming through, right? Because what I want you all to understand is really what's in between you and success in your speaking business right now is systems. That's really it. I've seen the majority of you speak before, whether it's been virtually or in person. You did amazing introductions. When I asked you to put together your offer blueprints and your I help statements, you didn't even blink an eye. Most of you got that done the same day. So you know what you're offering, you already know what you're doing, but you need systems to keep you consistent. One more thing I want to share before I share how you can get this for free is that campaigns are seasonal. Because I know some folks might be still listening to this and saying, Bob, no, I don't know. I don't know if I want to get into this campaign stuff, this reaching out to people stuff. Like it seems overwhelming. They are seasonal. So there's an opportunity for you to pause it if you need to. When you go on vacation, there's an opportunity for you to say, you know what? I'm full. Like I have a client, his name is K. Kenneth Davis. He's listed online as a trans capitalist if you want to look him up. We were on a call last night and he was like, you know what? I paid all my money for this quarter. I don't even think I want to work for Pride Month because he usually works for Pride Month. I was like, take a vacation then. He said, cool, I'm just going to pause my lead gen. So you can pause it and then you can turn it back on, right? That's the benefit as well. And pausing doesn't mean that the current conversations you're in just stop and you look like a flake. No, it just means that the system won't reach out to new people. And you can also set up an automatic response that says, hey, I'm on vacation, or hey, I'm not taking speaking opportunities, consulting, coaching opportunities right now, but sign up for my wait list. And I love a wait list, y'all. It's one of my favorite things because when I'm ready to turn back on my business, I got a list of people that I can reach out to. I don't have to go to people that don't know me. I can go to the list of people who don't. So I promised y'all at the start of our conversation that I was going to do whatever it takes to help y'all win. And we're going to get into that, right? So I want to introduce to y'all what we talked about earlier, which is the Rich Speaker Mastery. And this is going to give y'all a great opportunity to get that system for free. So as a part of the Rich Speaker Mastery, you will get access to the LinkedIn lead generation app for 90 days, right? This gives you 90 days to try it out and to see if it works for you to get some paid speaking opportunities. And that's valued at $5,991. You also get the campaign manager that comes with it, which is me, to be able to support you through that journey. What we're also going to be doing for this cohort is we're going to be doing the S for P curriculum live. I haven't done this since my beta group, y'all. Usually what happens is people go through my asynchronous course and then they can come to a coaching call and ask me questions. But I want to do this with you all live. So we'll be meeting for 90 days weekly so that I can do training and development to support you. Now, you may be wondering, what does that training and development look like? It's broken into 3 different phases. We have our foundations phase, which many of you are already almost through, right? Where we're creating our money back prophecy, our offer blueprint, reaching out to warm leads, understanding that process. Then we have our growth phase, which is all about upgrading our LinkedIn profile and started installing the LinkedIn lead gen app so you can get some success going, and co-creating your own speaker's reel, because I want that for you as well. I want you all to walk away with a video that showcases you speaking. And then we have our scale phase, which is all about you securing long-term contracts, becoming an amazing podcast guest, and creating your own profitable stage, whether that's a podcast, a YouTube channel, or a weekly live that you're able to do. So remember, we talked about foundations, creating that money back prophecy, creating your offer blueprint, reaching out to your warm leads. And our goal is for you to book your first high paid speaking contract in 14 days. Speaking, consulting, coaching, whatever you want to call it, you speaking for profit, I want you to be able to do that within the first 14 days. Because I want you to beat my client in Enzi. He is the historical one in speaking for profit. He came to S for P. He booked a $4,000 opportunity in 2 weeks. So I want you to beat history. You could beat out Enzi, right? And you could be one of the folks to get that within 2 weeks. Then we go into our growth phase. We upgrade your LinkedIn profile, install the LinkedIn lead gen app so we get you in conversation, create that speaker's reel. So we'll have a few opportunities for you to either hit the virtual stage or the in-person stage, because this is going to include a ticket to Speaking for Profit Live, which is happening in June here in Atlanta. So the idea is that you establish credibility and grow your audience by 500 in the first 45 days using the lead gen app and also utilizing your own systems as well. So I've personally, y'all, remember I talked to y'all when I had my LinkedIn, I've grown it from 1,000 to 10,000 connections. I just hit 10,000 connections, so you'll see a post about that soon. And I've booked over $300,000 in contracts using my LinkedIn audience. Most of my money comes from LinkedIn, to be honest with you. Phase 3 is scale. So we're going to talk about how do we secure long-term contracts. So you will already have secured some contracts. How do you turn those into retainers? How do you turn those into residencies? And then how do you utilize this to become a great podcast guest so you can build more and more credibility and create your own profitable stage? I love speaking in organizations, but it's nothing like me speaking in this room with you all, which I hope you have enjoyed, and making money while I do it as well. This is my own stage, and I want you to have the ability to do that too. So you can make an additional $30,000 a year from licensing your own digital products and creating your own stage. My client, Christine Coleman, that I told you about, she made that $100,000 from speaking, but she made an additional $30,000 when she launched her coaching program called Women of Color Thriving. So it is possible for you to create your own stage and have success as well. And we're going to spend the 90 days supporting you with that. So that, our curriculum, if I was just to sell it a la carte, it is probably about $19.97. That's what I would sell it for. I actually have never tried to sell our Speaking for Profit curriculum. It's usually in a program because I believe that people have more success when they have accountability and they have support. So now the value is $7,988. Speaking of accountability and support, I want to be able to support you as a coach. I believe that coaching is what makes us successful. Remember I told you I invested in my first coach, still in business to this day. But look at all the people around us. Look at this slide. We got Michael Jordan on here, Kobe Bryant, Serena, and Venus. They have their amazing dad as their coach. So coaching is something that I believe in and support. So you'll get weekly coaching momentum calls with us. And within our calls, y'all, people secure bags. People pass bags. People are like, you know what? I got this opportunity, but I want someone to be able to support me. So remember I talked about the history of Speaking for Profit. The largest Speaking for Profit university contract is $250,000 that people secured together. I believe it was 3 or 4 of our clients, right? So I want you to surpass that and create history with us. Maybe you all can work together and secure an even higher contract. So I would say our weekly business momentum calls are around probably around $60,000 when you think about being able to be in a group where you could secure that type of contract. So now we're at 60,000, right? Which you're probably like, Yvonne, I ain't got that. I'm getting to it. Don't worry. I'm getting to it. It's not going to be that much. So what I also realized through looking at your iHelp statements and your offer blueprints, many of you need some support with your messaging and marketing. If you think you need support with your messaging and marketing, go on and put the word money in the comments. And I know we're coming close to our time. We're almost wrapped up, so please stay and stick around. If you need support with your messaging and marketing, put the word money in the comments, right? I realized that. I've seen that. So we're going to do messaging and marketing masterclasses with you all throughout our time together to make sure that it's aligned. This is something that I've been doing the last 3 to 4 years, so I feel really comfortable supporting you with that. And what I mean by that is the messaging and marketing when you're coming to your social media content, but also some of the messaging and marketing that you're going to do when you're putting in your proposals as well. You'll also get access to our mastermind community, which is an amazing community of folks. Shouts out to Rakita, who's here, who's a part of our community as well. And our mastermind community for that time is worth $10,000. You'll also get an S for P stage, as we talked about. So that's going to be a virtual or in-person stage if you would like to do that at our in-person event in June. And through that event, we're going to actually put together a speaker's reel for you, which is a short reel showcasing you speaking to the world so that you can send that when you send your proposals and information to pitch yourself to potential clients. So people really will pay you more if they see a speaker's reel. We've already seen that within Speaking for Profit Academy and in our university. So it's important that you have a visual representation of you speaking. So $5,000. If I could just charge people just like, hey, come on stage and speak, that's how much that we would charge for that. So now we're at $100,000 for this amazing offer to be a part of the Rich Speaker Mastery. Now, I want you all to make money day one when you join. So what we also have built in is a partner program. This is a community-only affiliate program that you all will be able to join. You'll get 50% commission if people decide to buy our 5-day challenge workshop from you, and 10% commission on our Speaking for Profit Academy referral. We're also going to add in a referral for this program, which is new, which is our Rich Speaker Mastery. So day one, if you tell someone about Speaking for Profit, we want to be able to be in partnership with you. We'll give you a kickback for that if they join us within any of our amazing programs, and you can make money day one, which I think is really cool. We can break bread together, and that's priceless to be a part of the program. It's not for everybody. Some people here have said, Evolve, can I be a part of your affiliate? No, it's for people who actually join us and who actually utilizes our system, because I want you to give it to people because you believe in it, not because you're just trying to make some money. So total value, $102,000, right? But you already know we're not going to go there. So who thinks their college degree was worth it? If you think your college degree was worth it, put 1 in the chat. If you're like, you're so, put 2 in the chat. If you don't have a college degree, put 3, because that's fine, because you skipped the student loan debt that I currently have, and I'm jealous of you. See some 1s, I see some 2s coming in. All right, great. Well, either way it goes, I want you to know that only 27% of graduates work in the field that they went to college for. Only 27%. I'm actually one of them. I went to school for communications. I'm communicating with y'all today. So shout out to me. So let's do some math. My client, Zami, is a social worker, right? When we first started working together, he was making about $5,000 a month, $60,000 a year. Over 10 years, that's about $600,000 that he made, give or take when you think about taxes. As a holistic health coach and speaker and consultant, he's able to make $20,000 a month, right? Which is $240,000 a year and $2.4 million over 10 years. So when I say to you, you already have the expertise, now you need to brand it and actually bring it into your business. You can actually make and save money and save time. So when we think about the opportunity cost, right? And Domini is in abundance. He's not a scarcity. I'm just using him as an example. That's 1.8 million that he missed out on by not deciding to bet on himself a little bit earlier, right? So that's a 1.8 million opportunity cost when we think about the numbers when it comes to it. What you go to school for and how you leverage it with companies compared how you can leverage it with your own company. So when you think about that, if you could not miss out on 100, right? 1.8 million, and you paid 102, you'd probably be cool with me. You'd probably be like, cool, here, Bob. Go on and figure out how to credit me for this 102,000, as long as I don't miss out on this 1.8. All right. That's what you probably think it's a major deal. But you already know I got y'all's back. So I have great news for you. It's not $102,000 for you to join the Rich Speaker Mastery. It's not even half of that, right? The tuition to join the Rich Speaker Mastery is normally $12,000. And y'all remember, I told y'all that on day 2. That's normally what we charge for folks to be able to work with us for 90 days, which I think is great because honestly, you secure one contract and you'll be able to make that back. So this is what you get, right? For the time, for that $12,000, LinkedIn lead gen app for free, of course, the Speaking for Profit Success curriculum, our weekly business momentum calls, messaging and marketing classes, S4P University Mastermind Community, Speaking for Profit stage, and the program, right? The partner program. So you can make money today, right? When you get started. But we're not going to charge that either. Like, I don't want y'all to invest that. I want y'all to be able to actually make money and make profit. So for today, for this weekend only, it's $3,000 paid in full. $3,000 paid in full for you to join the Rich Speaker Mastery Program, for you to get access to the lead gen app and everything that you need to be successful. For most of you, you already told me how much you want to charge for speaking engagements. This is probably one. For some of you, it might be 2, but for the majority of you, this is one speaking engagement, right? For the $3,000. So Michaela's going to put that in the chat for the folks who are like, you know what, Evolve, I'm ready to go. I'm going to go and enjoy you. For the paid in full balance, right? If you were to pay in full today, you get a bonus. You will get access to your very own electronic press kit, which is the EPK. I love EPKs because we put them with our proposals to amplify them so that people can see our face card. We want people to see who we are when we turn in our proposal. So this is one that we actually created for my client, Desmond Davis. Make sure you go follow him as well. We did an amazing podcast episode. He's really cool. Photo, bio, all of that. Testimonials. Of course, we list ways that people can reach out to him. You include this with your proposal. So when it gets to the decision maker, they know how you look. That's so important because even if they say no, they might see you out in the world and be like, hey, you look familiar. You're constantly building your credibility and your face card. So Desmond, shouts out to him through having the EPK and the proposal and the process we're talking about today. This was just in February, y'all. Secured $10,000. Give it up for Desmond. And he sent me a message on our online platform and said, this is the beginning of the bag season, right? And I was so excited for him to get that check and be able to take care of himself and take care of his family. He has an amazing daughter and an amazing wife and does some really, really great work. He's also a graduate student, y'all. So he's out here making money, working full-time, being a full-time dad, and utilizing these easeful abundance processes so that he's able to do that. For folks who pay in full, you'll also get a one-on-one call with me. So we could talk strategy. I can give you some support, usually 60 minutes for us to talk about your business and for you to ask me any business development questions that you may have. I'm always down for a good pick my brain session and for us to strategize on how do you get you to success a little bit quicker. So we also have a fast action bonus. This is for folks who sign up right away and is only available for the first 5 people. And I want to say that because when people start to get it and it disappears, I don't want anyone coming to me and saying, Evolve, what happened? These bonuses are only available for the first 5 folks who join us. So you'll get the $1 Million Messenger script that we talked about, right? You'll actually get a video that goes along with that. And that's probably worth around $3,000. It was hard for me to price that because I was like, people have made $1 million from this Messenger script. So you will get access to that. And I'm actually going to support you in creating your own. So you'll get some customized support. You'll also get 100 leads already that you can reach out to in your current industry. Just in case you are interested in the email marketing side, remember I said email marketing doesn't work, but it doesn't mean that you shouldn't do it. So I think a mixture of that and LinkedIn can get you to success really quickly. So we're going to give you a list of 100 leads in your industry that you can already start to reach out to from day one. You're also going to get our 7-figure speaker proposal template, which means that you will have no excuse on why you can't send in an appropriate proposal to decision makers, which is really what we want for you. We want your proposal to be on point. We want you to be able to send it over and to know that it's going to get approved, but also to answer all of the questions based off of the amazing discovery calls that you had to be able to support you and your clients. So this weekend only is $3,000 paid in full, right? Today, if you want to click the link, and we're doing a small intimate cohort. So there's only going to be 9 spots available. We already have had a couple of people that have already signed up. So we want to make sure that this stays intimate. I don't like working when it's 20, 30 people on a call. Number one, I have a little bit of ADHD. It doesn't help me. It doesn't help you. But number two, I'm going to make sure that these 90 days are successful for our rich speakers and that you all have as much success as possible. So here's the deal. End of the day, Monday, the price will go up to $4,000. So if you want to get the deal today, I would suggest signing up for that. After that, we're going to keep it open probably for 2 weeks, and then we will start our cohort in May. So if you want to get in on the bonuses and the amazing offer, it's important to get in before Monday. If you have any questions around that and you want to get on a quick call with me and Michaela and talk more about the strategies that you might need around financing, we're open to do that with you as well, but this deal will only be available until Monday. Just want to remind you all of what it all includes: the LinkedIn Lead Gen app, access to the Speaking for Profit Success curriculum. That's going to be live training with me every week, weekly business momentum coaching, messaging and marketing masterclasses, of course, S4P community, the stage and your speakers reel, your partner program access so you can make money from day one, our paid in full bonuses, right, which include a call with me, and also our fast action bonuses, which will help you be even more successful. We also have a love it and leave it policy. So for folks who are like, you know what, I want to try this out, but I want to make sure that I'm successful. If you are not successful or if you don't feel successful within 14 days, we will give you your money back. I want people to work with me who are ready to go and who want to really do this and be in this space. So we do have a 14-day guarantee, love it or leave it, and you can decide that for yourself. And then my other promise for you is if you don't secure your speaking or consulting contract in 90 days, I'll work with you until you get paid to speak. That's what I'll do with you. Until you get paid to speak, I'll work with you. So we can work together past the 90 days, even though I don't think we'll need that. But I want to make sure that you all know that those guarantees are set up for your success. Just in case you're on the fence and you're like, you know what, I really want to do this, but finances are tight. I want to make sure that I have something in my back pocket that's guaranteed. That's my guarantee for you. If you show up and you do all the work and it doesn't work out, cool. Let's continue working together until we get your paid speaking opportunities on the books. So I hope that that's helpful for folks who might be on the fence or just might need more of a guarantee to be able to trust the system and the process. So like I said, Monday goes up to $4,000. Today is $3,000 to join us in the Rich Speaker Mastery, and it would be an honor to be able to work with y'all and support y'all. So what happens next? You're going to log on to that amazing site that Michaela put into the chat. You're going to click your preferred way to pay. We have paid in full option. We also have a payment plan. You'll put your information in and you'll get an email from me. And then we'll do onboarding in the next couple of weeks to get you ready to go in the Rich Speaker Mastery. So that's what's next for you all to keep your momentum and to be successful if you want to continue to work with Speaking for Profit University. Remember, it's for this weekend only, and then it goes up to $4,000 beyond that. So remember, this strategy helps Dr. Christine Coleman go from 500 to 180 and $30,000 when we think about the money she made from her coaching program. Helped Zami make over $200,000 and travel the world. Of course, you remember Enzi. He booked his $4,000 in 2 weeks. I hope that you can break that record. Kyle launched his Speaking for Profit business and started a viral podcast. Chris booked over $12,000 in contracts and just submitted a $30,000 proposal last week. And Geronda has made over $40,000 in the first quarter from this. So we're seeing success. Hope y'all can see the majority of my clients are some amazing, diverse individuals. And this is what you'll get when you join. So I hope you all get started now.